Yes, you guys, and how you all doing tonight? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV, and welcome to the match review of our 5-3 win against RB Salzburg. Now, in today's match review, I'm going to be talking about tactics, some very important tactical observations. I'm going to be talking about the performances from Ross Barkley. I don't know what's happened to this guy, but I'm here for it right now. I want to talk about Pulisic, Emerson, Tammy, and others as well. But before I get into anything, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. Download the OneFootball app to stay up to date to all things pre-season. If you download the OneFootball app right now, you'll be able to vote for who your man of the match was, be able to find all the stats from the game as well today. What you guys are waiting for, you'll find the OneFootball app in the link in the description below. And one more thing before I go, if you like today's video, I'm going to be ambitious. Smash that like button, help me get more than 2,000 likes for today's video. Now, the first thing that I do want to address immediately is that we shouldn't be worried about our defending just yet. Now, yes, I know that we conceded 3 goals today, but we need to realize that 2 of those goals came with a completely different back line. And what tends to happen is, defenders need time to adjust to a game. You can't just bring on an entirely different back line and expect them to acclimatize to their game immediately. It's not going to happen, so for me, I'm not really counting that. And when you see things like Zappa Costa giving a penalty away, I mean, what else do you expect? The guy isn't first-team material, but today, you guys, you saw what Frank Lampard'S is trying to bring to this football club. You can see the free-flowing football, the attacking football, the counter-attacking football, and I've started to realize, I've been mentioning Ross Barkley in particular and how he's really been doing so well now that he's been given space, playing in this more traditional number 10 role. And I'm going to talk about this guy later on, so you guys stay tuned for that. But playing in this counter-attacking system, it gets the best out of quite a few of the players here. And I like the fact that we're quite versatile now under Frank Lampard. We're able to play possession football when we need to. We're able to play counter-attacking football. We can keep the ball short. We can play it long. I like that. Lampard for me is Mr. Adaptability, and I think that for this season in particular, we're really going to need that style of management. But still, some of the football that we saw today, we're now seeing the ball moving much quicker, especially through midfield, so that's a massive positive. The press has been decent as well, and I'm really feeling a lot more positive as the season's coming along now. Now, before I get into anything, I do want to talk all things tactics. After the tactical segment, I'm going to discuss some of the individual standout players from today. Now, I'm going to talk all things tactics, but first, we need to discuss how RB Salzburg set up against us. Now, in the first 15 minutes, they caused us a lot of issues with their press. It was aggressive, hard, fast. They closed the spaces very well, and we struggled to play out from times, constantly losing the ball in our own half, and here's exactly how RB Salzburg did that. Now, of course, offensively they would set up like this, but it was how they pressed off the ball which caused us the most issues. Now, one striker would fall in line between Kova and Jorginho, one would move in between Luiz and Zuma, and then the wide players would move infield, and what happens is they become a 4-2-3-1, and they then outman Jorginho and Kova 3-2. Now, of course, it's crucial that these guys are able to be free because they start the attacks. We do play through the middle, and if you stop that, you are going to affect how we play out from the back. And of course, they press very high. Obviously, they forced us back as well. Their fullbacks were very good at stopping any balls out from wides. So for example, if we did find Pedro, the fullbacks would close the wingers down very aggressively. And most times the only outlets were the fullbacks here. And because they had no proper passing options, what they tended to do was hit the ball out wide. Now, Asby was doing this quite a lot. Emerson was faring very well against their press throughout the entire game. He was actually very good today. I do want to speak about his performance in greater detail in tomorrow's 4 talking points video, but he did very well against their press, and of course we had issues against them. Now, how did we get past this, and how did we start to get our counter-attacking game on point? It was very simple actually. What would happen is Pedro would move in fields to take out some of the men here. The fullbacks were tasked with being the available man out wide. And either Jorginho or Cover would fall in line, making it a back three. And then of course, it's tasked with the other midfield player to find the pockets of space. And what ends up happening is there's a free man essentially because there's no one there to close him down. And of course, when you've got guys like Jorginho and Cover, and I have to say with Cover, the guy is really looking like a young Luka Modric out here. I mean, he really is. When you have guys of this ability who are able to beat any type of press, that's how we were able to start our attacks. And the joy we got against them today was down the left-hand side. Now, as you can see, Ross Barkley did very well finding the pockets of space today. His passing was on point. I'm going to speak about him in greater detail later on in this match review. But what ended up happening was the fullbacks were caught way too high, and it became very easy for us to counter down the flanks. And when you have someone like a Pulisic who can control the ball with tremendous control at such a very high speed as well, it's a very rare talent to have, and it's no surprise why it was the main reason why the club wanted to sign him. He was excellent today at getting in behind, and because they were caught too high up the pitch, we were able to obviously create overloads against them ourselves, particularly down the left hand side. Emerson had license to bomb forward as well, and most of the goals came from these three guys here. Tammy's movement dragging defenders out, Ross Barkley's exquisite passing throughout the game today, and Pulisic with his pace in behind. And that's effectively how the game was from a tactical point of view. Getting straight back into the match review. Now that you know how the game went from a tactical aspect, I want to talk about some of the standout players from today, starting with none other than Ross Barkley himself. And wow, every single game this preseason, he's getting better and better. But the thing that impressed me the most today was his passing. Now, for the goals that came, Ross Barkley played the most important factor in them by executing those passes with the perfect weight. It was the weight which allowed Pulisic to control the ball the way he did. It was the weight which allowed Pedro to attempt that audacious, ridiculous goal, one of the best goals I've seen. And that all came from Ross Barkley. And I've been telling you guys that him playing in a number 10 role means that he's afforded much more space now. And now that he constantly has runners ahead of him, Barkley's able to play the game that he wants. This is his natural game. Of course, I was critical of him last season because he was being used as a number 8, and he does have limitations in his game. But the thing is, and I'm realizing now, Ross Barkley is a cam. The guy isn't a midfield player. It's no surprise why it's not the first time he's failed playing in a midfield role. I think it was happening at Everton. Cast my mind back to it right now. So Lampard's coming in, is bringing in a style and system that's getting the very best out of the players we have. And that's one thing that I constantly advocate for. Now, I do want to talk about Pulisic, and my God, is the guy quick. And his first touch, I mean, do you understand how hard it is to control the ball running at full speed like that? But his movement in behind, his ability to beat the man, and the goals too. I mean, that second goal, that deft chip over the goalkeeper, fantastic goal. And I love that type of goal. I love that Tekker's type of goal because it tells me that the player is still thinking, he's still processing the entire game, even if he's running at full speed. And that's something that the very best players can do. 2 goals and winning a penalty as well. For me, he is the man of the match. And other players that I do want to talk about is the midfield, Kovacic and Jorginho. And Kovacic to me is looking like a young Modric. I said it earlier. This is his best position. Again, you know, I'm starting to understand people's cries for adaptability last season. You know, Sarri could have adapted maybe to pushing Kovacic in a deeper role and using Barkley as a 10. When we didn't have Ruben in the team playing number 8, we really struggled. And it's no surprise that, you know, players playing in their best position, that's when you tend to see the extra 30% that they have. And Kovacic can do everything. His tackling, his work rate, the press resistance, the skill. Again, for me, he's looking like a Luka Modric. And I think it's fair to start questioning how Kante may get back in this team, because Jorginho and Kovac have looked amazing together so far. It's definitely going to be a massive headache for Frank Lampard. I'm sure we'll find a perfect solution for this, but the midfield this pre-season have been on point. Every single one of these guys. And to end things, I want to talk about two unsung heroes today. The first guy is Emerson, and Emerson, I'm always paying attention to him whenever he plays. I look to see what he does, how he's seeing the game, how he feels, and today, RB Salzburg did give us a very good test. Their pressing was on point, they were aggressive. It didn't feel like a friendly game. It definitely wasn't. It wasn't played at that intensity at all. And Emerson looked so smooth. He looked so composed. His press resistance is great. It really is. Like his creativity. There were times where guys were closing him down and he was like chipping the ball over people. He was like doing a bit of skill, a bit of drag backs, smart passing options as well. And it's looking like Emerson has secured that first team spot at left back. I mean, he's been great this preseason. And the other unsung hero is going to be Tammy Abraham. Now, what I do want to say is some people may feel, why was Tammy so quiet today? We need to understand the role he's playing. In this system, Tammy is being used as a poacher up front, and playing in that role means that your movement is the most important thing. And on the counter-attack, when you have a striker of those dimensions, it allows you to become much more fluid because they understand how to operate in space and how to manipulate it. The amount of times Tammy was dragging defenders out of position, that was freeing up guys like Barkley or Pulisic, was great to see. And when you're a striker, you have to complement the team playing up front. If you're not getting the chances on goal because he wasn't getting too many, what else can you do? And Tammy's showing that he can hold the ball up, he has resilience, he's very intelligent, and his movement is very good. For me, he is the number one striker. I think that with more game time and playing with the team more, runs even more. And once they do, I think we're looking at a pretty exciting striker. And on that note, you guys, that's going to bring it into today's match review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.